The Gi spot. I'd hit that.
Welcome to the Gi Spot podcast. My name's Rachel Bradshaw and I'm running late today.
Yeah.
And I'm a little bit frazzled.
Yes.
And it's been a quick morning.
I know, it's so funny. You were so funny when you walked in. It's like, I haven't even changed. Like, hi.
I'm still wearing what I was wearing under my gi for class this morning because we normally start our episode an hour later than what we started
And a day
today.
later.
And a day later.
Yeah. So it's all a bit chaotic this morning. We're a bit, look, I haven't even put my phone on silent, so it's a good start.
I know. We're like, we're off. The races, the horses have
out
bolted.
the gate.
Yeah, that.
So
I'm not even ready.
this tells you exactly how this episode's going today, right? Oh, my poor husband.
And
He's
who
gonna
are
have
you?
So
Who are
many
you?
edits. Oh, I'm still Kaz.
You're Kaz. Welcome, Kaz.
I was early.
You were here waiting, wondering where she is.
I was here with the crickets.
What's going on with Rachel today? You didn't send me your usual text then.
No, that's because my daughter had come for a visit, and so
Gotcha.
I was chatting with her, and then I'm
Not
like,
aware of time.
Yeah, no, just sitting here early, and then I get the ting ting, and then I looked at her, and I looked at my phone, and I looked back at her, and I laughed and said, "No, keep going, we're cool. She's running late."
What's new?
It's busy mornings for you, and it's a different day and everything. So
yes,
we've sort of changed the landscape a bit this week.
Anyway, how are you?
I'm good. Oh, look, my everything's going to... Oh, I'm tisming. Okay. It won't stop moving and I'm not touching it. Anyway, I'm good. How are you? How's your week been?
The energy vibes coming out from you.
I know,
like,
yeah.
boom, boom, boom.
I know. It's going to be big day. I'll sit on my hands and stop talking.
Okay.
That's the only way you'll get me to stop talking. If I can't use my hands, I can't speak. See, I still had one on the move.
Oh, that's funny. No, my week's been good. I'm going to visit my grandma this week up in Grafton, so I might hit Pathways MMA up there for a visit. They're always who I like to go and train with when I'm in Grafton. So, yeah.
Very cool.
Excited.
Road trip. I do love road trips. So, my love,
Yes.
let's dive into it. What's on the agenda for today? This is your brainwave.
Yeah, so I was just thinking about what we could talk about today and something that Grant will often say on the mats, and it's not his, and he openly admits that. We got it from our coach, Luke, is when they're telling us something like a universal truth on the mat, like always do this or make sure you do this, right? And then they'll go, oh, it's never always and always sometimes. It's a catchphrase. It's never always and always sometimes.
Yep.
And what it means is everything we say you should do, remember this, don't do that. It's true to a point. It's true while you're new. It's true while you're learning this stuff. If you're a white belt, blue belt, listen to those universal truths. Later on, when you know the rules, then you can start to break the rules just a little. And so that's what I thought we'd come up with, like some basic universal truths for everyone out there listening today and talk about when we can break them, but otherwise make this your 90%. So, yeah, and then you did a bit of a deep dive on what that phrase means.
I did. So I like origins and I like learning more about, these kind of things don't just pop up for no reason, right? There's always some sort of history behind them, and I like sort of scratching the thread and then pulling it to see how well I can destroy the tapestry.
How much you can unravel.
Yeah. And so I knew that Chris Howder had said it quite a lot. And when I started looking into it, and I went on to my little trusty ChatGPT, who I love and adore, and it actually, the origin, which made sense because Chris is a veteran too, but it's very big in the military space in America as well. And talking to Matt then this morning, Australia has adapted a similar kind of concept as well. And as far back as I could go, it starts with President Eisenhower. And he made a statement that plans are useless, but planning is indispensable. And from there, it kind of evolves through, and we are at today's catchphrase. But fundamentally, what it means is that you get taught something and you take it as gospel to a point.
Yep.
Because it will never always be the solution.
Yep.
So in that regard, I couldn't make sense of it until I had done the deep dive on it.
Gotcha. You're like never always and always sometimes.
Yeah.
It's a fun play on words.
It is.
And it's sort of like until you really understand what on earth we're talking about, and you've got to be a bit deeper into it.
Yep.
It sounds like jumbled words.
It did. And that's not because my brain is so workflow oriented, and there is a for and an against and a flow. That kind of got into a circle that I couldn't find the end or beginning.
You glitched?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, and
restart.
I did, and because it makes no sense, I'm kind of like, meh, out the window. And so when I took a deeper dive into it, all of a sudden, all the bells and whistles started to set off because, like I was saying to you before, you and I think it was before the women's class, I was talking to you, and I said I had changed my mindset with Matt when we're drilling. I'm asking him now for resistance when we drill, because although I'm a purple belt, I still struggle, and I don't know if this is normal for most purple belts or I'm just special, but I struggle to take drilling and then employ that into a role.
Yep.
And more often than not, it is because, and my own choice, I'm choosing to roll with people that are always better than me.
Yep.
And so I struggle to implement because obviously they're wiser, smarter, faster, and they can just shut everything down. So I couldn't take what I was drilling and remember to put it into a roll.
Yep.
And so I asked Matt if he could give me resistance through our drilling. I wanted to feel why it wasn't going to work against someone smarter, faster, harder than me. That allows me then to open up my brain and go, all right, is there something in here at that moment I need to modify slightly for me to make the adaptation? I'm older, I'm slower, I'm a little bit more broken than a lot of other people in this world.
Yep.
And so what do I need to take from the experts, modify slightly to see if I can then execute? And I was saying that to you. And then it was really interesting because then we went into the women's class, and you're then introducing this concept to the women of when you're drilling, give a little resistance.
Yeah.
Don't be an easy partner. Like,
Yeah.
don't make it, Matt will often say, are you going to let me try this? I'm like, oh, sorry. Yeah, okay.
Loosen up those holds, Kaz.
Could you open up your elbow and let me through? Oh, well, no. So, yeah, then the penny started to drop a little bit. And so for me, I guess when you talk about breaking the rules, that's kind of where I'm at the moment. I'm asking through a drill that is not normally where you're supposed to get that level of resistance for the resistance for my spurgy head to be able to go, oh, okay, jigsaw puzzle, here we go, good, now I can adapt.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It does. It really does. It's a little off the beaten track, but my advice to you as your coach in this moment, use the white belts as your punching bags.
Yep.
Like, it's really important, especially where you're at, because you're right in the middle of the road, right? You are not a super beginner and you're not a black belt yet. So you're kind of in this, like, you're going under the radar. If you, and always rolling with higher belts is always a good thing. But the thing is, you're never going to get to try out your new stuff with the belt levels that are much more experienced
that
than
knows
you,
what's coming.
right? Because they'll feel it coming and shut it down before you even get the chance.
Yeah.
Where you need to sharpen your sword is on the white belts.
Yeah.
And the people your size and smaller. And that way you get to be really technical and go, okay, I'm not getting the resistance. So now I can go step by step until I understand the move completely. Now I've gotten it all on the white belts. I'm going to move to the blue belts. Let's see if I can make it work on them. Oh, no, they're giving me this little counter problem or that little counter problem. And that's where you start to fill in the gaps, right, of the move.
Yeah.
And you start to explore the little what ifs around why this move won't work just seamlessly beginning to end and what you need to adjust on your way through. By then, you've got a pretty good understanding of it. You'll be able to start hitting it on purple belts and even maybe some higher belts sometimes. But trying to get a move that you've just learned on your husband the next roll,
useless.
probably not going to hit you with great success at that point.
But I tried. Like, at least I'm out there trying, right?
So use your white belts, use your blue belts as your punching bags to get really good at that stuff, and then go right and systematically do it. I know how you love systems and rules in place. Use that as a system.
It was funny what you just said about me liking rules and systems and everything. And it was funny, the more I read into this, the more it's so outside of my TISM lane.
Right.
Because there has to be so much grey in that statement. What happened?
Sorry, Buddy just let off a stinky. And it just hit me and whew.
To all the viewers out there, congratulations. You're welcome for not having the sensory of smell right now.
He's okay. He's
oh, no, leave him here. He's fine. You just let out. Could you turn the aircon on, though? That would be nice.
Just some fresh air flow.
Just make the fan work. Sorry,
He's
buddy.
sitting right at my feet, so it will hit me before it hits anyone
and
else.
he's a part of it now. Chris Burns had him up on his lap for the whole episode, so he's with us now. But do you know what I find that statement? The best way I can describe that statement is be happy living in the grey.
Right.
And I struggle with the grey.
Yes.
So as I went through, it's like what it means in Jiu Jitsu, right? So this was the interpretation. Mm-hmm. There are no absolutes in Jiu Jitsu. I agree with that, and I struggle with that equally.
Yes, I can understand how someone who is on spectrum would struggle with that.
Yep. Absolutely.
Because it's like, no, where's the hard and fast rule on this? Where's the concrete?
If you're teaching me to do it X, Y, Z,
Yeah.
and I go and do X, Y, Z,
And they throw in a B, C, and D.
that's right.
What the hell is this about?
Why didn't you teach me how to handle the B, C, and D? Like I'm out here on my own, right? Like, where's the B, C, and D, Rach? And then it goes on to say, context is everything. The right answer depends on the position, the opponent, their size, your timing, and dozens of little variables. And again, that's so true. And I understand the logic. You have to teach to learn, right? So there has to be the foundational basics, and you can build up from them. I still, if and it's hard because I come from a software background and we have bugs in every software application that exists on planet Earth today. Mm-hmm. I'm not disputing that, but they're human errors.
Well, Jiu-Jitsu is all about human error.
I know. And
like the entire system of Jiu-Jitsu is human error and how to expose human error.
Yeah.
And when you were just saying that, it reminded me of something else that Grant says all the time, and it just dropped the penny on how much it actually makes sense. The right tool at the wrong time is the wrong tool.
Correct. Yep.
Right? And it's exactly the same concept.
Yeah.
So I love it. Yeah.
And it's that process of acceptance. That's where I'm at the moment. So I've never ever acknowledged in jiu-jitsu that I had to get to a point of acceptance.
Yep.
And here's the three things. Acceptance of tapping. You know, somebody said it the other day, like if you're don't be that guy that never taps, but I never want to tap. Not because I don't want someone else to win, or not because I want to win or anything like that. I don't want to lose. I want to know there's a way out of everything. And there's not always a way out of everything.
There's not.
No. So, and acceptance, right?
Yeah,
acceptance is the
absolutely.
key. And a jigsaw puzzle, unless somebody fucks with you and hides the piece, there's always an ending to the jigsaw puzzle. A workflow solution, there is always an end to the workflow solution. I always want there to be a way out.
You're going to be really disappointed when you get to black belt and realize that puzzle is now 3D.
Yeah, I know.
I thought I put the last piece on the puzzle.
God damn. Or somebody stole the last piece and I'm starting again. So there's acceptance of the tap. There is the acknowledgement of the difference and defining the difference between defending and offending and knowing when you're there. My whole entire journey has been defending. And I only just think now I'm at the point of being able to think in a roll how to look for maybe an attack.
Yeah.
And I didn't think that day would ever come. I thought my entire jiu-jitsu world and history would just be all about defending because I wasn't smart enough to articulate, or I would never be good enough.
But your journey has taken a different path to some people's too. Like when you started jiu-jitsu, you were there for Matt and the kids.
Yes.
And you kind of wrapped yourself in the bubble of the rats.
Yes.
Who were all very experienced.
Yes.
So your training partners from day one have had so much more experience than you.
Yes.
So you've always been on the back foot.
Yes. Yes. And only am now acknowledging and realizing and accepting that.
Right. So acknowledge and accept that, but also see that, okay, so that's actually made your defensive jiu-jitsu excellent.
Yes.
Now is time for you to step out of those comfort zones of training with higher belts and actually go and seek out some of the scary white belts.
Yeah, they scare me a lot.
and with good reason,
Yes.
let me tell you.
Yeah, try having, it's, unless I'm going in there with a neck brace, I don't know.
You know who you can pick and who to stay away
and
from.
What you said before about picking your white belts and starting to try different stuff, again, it's interesting that I'm doing these things now unconsciously, because Wednesday night with the women, who I adore immensely, and watching them evolve and grow is so much fun.
Yep.
But I also love rolling with them because it's that time that I get to go. And sometimes I'll giggle, if I'm rolling with Jess or Amber or Steph or any of them really, and I'll giggle and go, oh no, don't do that. Oh no, look at me go. And it's like, okay, this is the reverse side of that journey.
And you've come so far in that, because I remember when you first joined us and I had one of the new white belt ladies come up to me and go, Kaz is really scary. And now the white belts will come and go, I love rolling with Kaz. So you have, like, from when you very first started, you came in like all guns blazing. Yes, here's some fresh meat that I can dominate. To now where you're like, no, I don't have to. I can actually just be playful. I can try things. Don't always give them everything.
No.
Like, you can try your new moves and stuff on them. But because you're meeting them where they're at +1, say, the roles have now become really fun for you as well, and them. And they're getting a lot out of it, and you're getting a lot out of it. And it's not just about winning or losing or dominance or anything like that. So,
The acceptance has been a big one, because what it then starts to do for me is break down the fear of failure.
Yep.
And, Matt, producer Matt, what was that thing? There is an actual name for this thing that I have, and I keep forgetting it. What did you?
For the
fear of failure?
You loss avoidance.
Loss avoidance.
Right.
So there is this clinical thing, and I am forcing myself to be comfortable on Wednesday night to try those new things and to fail with pride. As opposed to being afraid of failing, and even with Matt the other night, like that choke that we looked at that I really loved. I have no idea what its name is, but I really loved it.
Just a lapel choke,
or
a punch choke.
Punch choke, yeah. And I got everything. I got the move, but he just kind of brushed me away and went, no, not today.
Not today, Satan.
Not today, Satan. But I laughed. And it's probably the first time I haven't beaten myself beyond for failing.
Yeah.
So it was good. It's that whole, I'm learning. We talk a lot about learning to be comfortable in uncomfortable situations. And I honestly believe a lot of people in the jiu-jitsu world reference that back to the physical attributes. For me, it's the emotional and mental attributes of being comfortable in uncomfortable, and failing for me is very uncomfortable. And so being able to giggle at that to 90% of our listeners will sound completely and utterly ridiculous. For me, it was a huge win.
Nice.
Huge win.
Nice. I reckon these next couple of years is going to bring so much further development and understanding for you.
It'll be awesome.
And because we're doing this podcast too, we kind of deep dive into some of these issues that we wouldn't normally get to talk about.
And the psyche side of this, you know, we talk a lot, and Matt and I talk a lot, and we talk a lot with our medical professionals that we do a lot of work with. I am very fortunate in that I bounce back very quickly physically. I have ridiculous strength. You know, for a 53-year-old, I'm still very fortunate in my attributes, even though I've been through hell. But it's the psychological side that I struggle with in most aspects of my life. And jiu-jitsu is no different to that. And I don't think I'm alone. I think there would be a lot of people out there that have these massive talks to themselves, running themselves into the grey and the ground over a hobby. A hobby.
Yes. It's supposed to be fun, Kaz.
I know. But, you know, for me, a hobby never comes into the equation.
Yeah.
This is a thing that
You're
we
at
do.
war.
I am, yeah. And usually with myself.
Well, hopefully today's episode's a little lighter. We're going to have a bit of fun with it. I came up with some things, and too, I want to also make the point, when we had Mitch from Dark Carnival on the episode 6 months ago or so, he was saying that Chris Howder has 4 rules that he often talks about. You know, thou shalt have a guard that you not pass, get on top and stay on top, you know, and there's a few others. And I don't know them off by heart because I'm not an affiliate of Chris, but I should know them because I will recognize them. I've seen the posters. But he said there's a fifth rule.
Yep.
And the fifth rule he doesn't ever usually share because people don't get it. And you won't get it until later on. But it's know the rules so that you know when you can break them.
Yep.
So that's what today is all about. Now, I've written a whole bunch that I sort of came up with this morning. Grant gave me one as well. Matt's given us a couple. He's sort of dipped in as well. The first one is tap early and tap often.
Yep.
Now, when we have white belts come on the mat, biggest advice that we can give them, tap early, tap often. Because if you don't let them know that, they will start to fight through beyond where they need to. They're dead to right. Say it's an arm bar. Their arm's fully extended. They haven't learnt the escapes yet. But they're like, I can muscle out of this, or I'm going to wait for this to really hurt before I tap. Don't do that. Just tap early. Tap early, tap often, right? Never always and always sometimes. As you learn, as you get more skill under your belt, you can start to extend that just a little. Give yourself the opportunity to start seeing where the exit gates are. Can I move my thumb this way? Does that take pressure off? And this happens too with trusted training partners. I wouldn't be testing this theory with another new white belt, but I would test it maybe with a black belt who had my arm. Can I turn my thumb this way? Can I turn my thumb that way? Can I regather my hand? Can I start to inch out a little bit? Can I take the pressure off? So the rule is tap early, tap often until you get enough experience where you can start to experiment with the escapes a little more. Don't be so quick once you've learnt them to just like, I was rolling with someone the other night. I think it was a blue belt. I took their back and they tapped. And I was like, are you okay? And they were like, oh, yeah, but you had me. I went, no, I didn't. I was still several moves away from actually getting you in a rear naked choke. I said, just let's take a second, reset.
Yeah.
Let me get to where I was. I want you to not just submit to that. Like I had a seatbelt grip. I didn't even have like a hand neck
collars or anything.
Yeah, I didn't have collars. I didn't have an arm around the throat. And this is a blue belt, so knows more than I think what they gave themselves credit for.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, let's go. Like I want you to try and work out how am I going to get out of this, not just concede.
Yeah.
Oh, you've got my back. I'm going to tap early and tap often.
Yep.
Right? Makes sense?
It does.
So it's a really good rule. It's a beautiful
The better
rule.
you become, the less you look to tap.
Yes. The less you probably need to because you have more answers. So tap early and tap often.
Yep.
Until you become experienced enough that maybe you can hold off just a little bit. Again, don't hold off so much that you get put to sleep. Yep. I've done that twice.
Matt did that the other night. He said he got put out by somebody when he'd come home from training.
Sometimes it sneaks on real quick. You think
Yeah.
you've got time and that doesn't. Or that it's not quite on and you're like, oh, this is not quite on. I'm going to be able to get out of this. But then they readjust and it's been cooking that whole time and that
Yeah.
little readjustment just knocks you straight out.
Good night,
yeah,
Charlie.
So rule number one. Well, I'm not going to number them. I'm just going to say
Yeah.
these are standard rules. Never give up your back.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about that one?
I think I probably do it a lot. And again, I think it comes down. I mean, I wouldn't if someone's on my back, there's no way I'm conceding or anything like that. I'm still looking to try and get out of it. I don't spend a lot of time trying to get to people's backs.
Right.
That's not where I'm comfortable.
Yeah.
It's not where I often struggle if I go. If I'm going for it, I will lose the second hook, and then they're just straight out over my legs, and it's like, you know, twisting and turning around, and it's all done. If I'm in a position where it's open to me, I will continue to try and fail.
Right.
So it's not my wheelhouse.
So that's you taking the back. But what about you giving up your back?
I don't know. I think in the moments, I know I give up my back often.
Right.
But I think it's because when I'm in the moment of either going into turtle too often, or I'm rolling away when I should roll in.
Right.
And
And then
that's
you're getting caught.
And then I'm getting caught. And that's a big one for me because there is a lot of things about this sport that is what do you say?
Intuitive.
Intuitive, yeah.
And almost the entire thing is counterintuitive.
Counterintuitive. and there are a lot of things where I've figured it. There are still some things like rolling away and then I'm exposing my back instantly.
I think giving up your back is probably the hardest position when you don't have answers. It's the hardest position to defend.
Yeah.
When you're on underneath mount,
Yeah.
you're facing them.
Yeah.
You can see what's coming. You can put frames in place. You can start to look for, bridge and rolls or elbow escapes or even just like throwing them off if you're going to muscle through or whatever the situation is. You're facing them.
Yeah.
When we say don't ever give up your back, it's because now you can't see what's going on. They're behind you.
Yeah.
And they can see everything. You can't see anything.
Yeah.
So it makes it really hard to defend that
Yeah.
position. I got to brown belt pretty much following that rule. Don't ever give up your back.
Yeah.
Unless they take it, but
Yeah.
don't ever give it, right?
yeah.
Don't ever
Roll away and turtle.
Yeah, don't ever allow them to take it if you can help it, right?
Yeah.
So fight for the fact that you're not giving them your back. I got to brown belt or late purple belt and I realized that every time someone got my back, I'd be getting choked out or armbarred or submitted in some way.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, that's a real area of weakness. For me, brown belt is where you identify the gaps in your game and you try and fix what's missing before you get to black belt, right?
Yeah.
You've got to fix up the holes. So for me, that was a really big hole in my game. So I started to give up my back purposefully. Now I knew I was going to put myself in very deep waters. So I'd give up my back purposefully and, for the first 3 months, I'd get choked out. And I'd give up my back every roll with every person. So for the first 3 months, I'd get submitted.
Yep.
Then I started getting submitted less and defending a bit more and managing to get my way out. And that lasted for a few more months. I started to get really comfortable with my defenses. And then lastly, I started to look for submission opportunities when I had them on my back.
Yep.
I've now got a couple of little tricky submissions that I can do if they're on my back. So it's been
Can
a
I
process.
Ask you then, in that 6-month period,
Yep.
how much of your conscious working mechanisms on this particular instance was accounted for in your drilling as well as your rolling? Is this something that you wouldn't practice and drill on? You just consciously go into your
No, because
rolls,
there's always a
exercising
class in a curriculum about back defense.
Yep.
right? So there's always a class that Grant would teach or Luke would teach that, or a whole week of it where you talk about if someone gets your back, this is how you defend.
Yeah.
But
But for you personally, were you
Yep.
doing anything outside? I know
Not at
you
all.
guys are okay.
No,
right,
not
no,
at all.
Okay.
No, just what I'd learnt in class.
Yep.
When that class happened to come around, I was trying to apply those techniques to it. But as you said, and I'm not sure if we had this discussion while we're recording or
On air or off air,
or
yep.
off air. But I think about the resistance. When you're practicing in the drills, okay, someone's got my back. They've got a seatbelt grip and I'm going to fall this way and I'm going to take the arm over my head and I'm going to get my shoulders to the mat and do all of that. That's fine when your partner's giving you 40, 50% resistance or just
Yep.
not being a floppy fish, right?
Yeah.
Or if they are being a floppy fish, it's really easy. But as soon as they want to hold you there with a bit of resistance,
Yep.
suddenly that becomes really hard. And you've got to start putting all of these different answers together. That's probably what it's all about. That's when you're saying, I need to train with resistance. It's not really that. It's just your ability to switch between this move and that move and that move and that move.
Yep.
And be able to switch back and forth knowing that this is really what I want, but I'm going to click my fingers over here for a bit to distract them so I can get that. And
Yeah.
do you know what I mean?
I do.
Yeah.
And that's why it's so important for me to have that resistance when we're drilling.
Yep.
Because that then is what's mind mapping me into a role.
Yeah.
And for so long now I've been missing that connection piece.
But it's also to where you're at in your journey. If you tried to say to a white belt, right, you had a week 1 white belt on the mats and said, all right, well, we're going to learn this choke and I'm going to give you resistance. They would never learn the choke.
Oh, for sure.
Do you know what I
Yep.
mean?
Yeah, of
so they
course.
have to learn their ABCs before they can start knowing words, before they can start forming sentences and then paragraphs and then novels.
Yeah.
So you're at that stage now where you're starting to put all the sentences together and forming paragraphs.
Yeah.
That's where you're at.
Yeah. I hear a lot of white belts all the time and blue belts say and agree with me when I say I can't connect drilling to rolling.
Yeah.
And you know, there is something in that, I think, for a lot of people, but it's not until now that I've figured out what works for me to help me make that connection. You're right. If I wouldn't have got there earlier in my journey, I wouldn't have understood. I just knew there was a disconnect, but I didn't understand how to connect. Yeah. And I don't think my connection is necessarily the same connection that will work for everybody, because that brings us back to the topic of today, right?
Yeah.
Not everything for everyone. But
Never
that,
always and always sometimes.
that's right. It works. It today, now, as we're going through it, it's working for me.
Yeah.
If I get some resistance in the drills, I can feel. And then when I feel that in a roll, I know where I'm going. I know. Are you looking at my dog?
I'm wondering what on earth is going on. Man, he's got an upset tummy today. I don't know if you saw me before. I got another one and I was like halfway through my sentence.
We're in a gas chamber. Sorry, peeps.
That's all right. They don't care.
They don't have to smell
They're
it.
not smelling it. This is not a 3D experience. So I would say never give up your back
Yep.
until you learn the rules when sometimes it's a good idea to give up your
Yeah.
back.
Yep.
And that could be in order to escape. Sometimes if I'm under mount and the person's got a really good mount,
Yeah.
I will actually start to give my back a little, because that creates a transition for my opponent to
Yeah.
start to go to my back, and my back defense is really strong. They won't even get those hooks in, even if it's for competition, for example. They won't even get the chance to get the hooks in, and I'm already out
Yeah.
because I've worked my escapes that much. So, but while you're learning, oh my goodness, he's having a good one. While you're learning, don't ever give up your back.
Yep.
While you're a white belt, try to avoid that, because then you're going to be in very deep water.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Next one I've got on my list, keep your opponents close. We often say keep your friends close or keep your enemies close, and keep your elbows closer.
Yes.
Hear this one all the time.
Oh, and you know, we were doing something on the mats last week, I think it was, and it was the difference between elbow out, elbow in.
Yep.
Whether they could get through, whether you were locking them down.
Yes.
And, you know, again, it's not just this one movement that elbows are so important to, but I'm sure all my coaches historically and all the people that have taught me from when we've traveled and everything have had very similar comments because they're all smarter and cleverer than me. But the penny finally dropped the other day. My elbows are a thing.
Yep.
They need to be connected to my body.
Yep.
And Matt and I were playing and, you know, because he always starts in this seated position where he gets his feet in and then throws me away. Motherfucker. And so I've started doing that to see like what that does for me in a change process.
Love it.
And it means elbows in.
Yes.
And now all of a sudden my focus is coming, you know, and you, Grant, Matt, everybody said purple belt is that
realization belt.
world, right? Yeah. Where
your world will open up.
Yeah, the pennies start to drop. I see a lot of blue belts at Iconic that are way smarter in jiu-jitsu than me. So the penny's obviously dropping for them way sooner than it dropped for me. But it's you know, these things are starting to finally filter into the little chasm brain and we're getting it. So doing that the other night, now I know a lot of the time I'm like, oh, no, you cut my elbow, my knee, they're connected now.
Yes.
That becomes a real thing.
Absolutely. I love that distinction that you just made, actually. When I realized that if I can keep my elbow connected to my knee, that actually shuts down a lot of people getting past your guard. So pro tip at home, gang, keep your elbow connected to your knee. But keeping your elbows close to your body will reduce any risk of having exposure where your arm becomes unsafe, right? So you're locking down any potential arm bars, triangles, you know, giving up the underhooks, for example.
2 arms in or 2 arms out is another one.
I've got that on my list, but we're not there yet.
Okay. That's it. I learned that, and I will give J-Mac, it was either J-Mac or Billy, dues on this one because they kept laughing at me. No, Kaz, not one, not 1 in, 1 out, 2 in, 2 out.
Actually,
real simple.
That was the one that Grant gave me this morning when I gave him my list. I said, this is what I've written. He's like 2 arms in, 2 arms out.
Yeah, perfect.
So such a good rule.
We tease them together.
Such a good rule. 2 arms in, 2 arms out at all times. We're talking about the guard people. So when you're stuck in someone's guard, never reach through with 1 arm. You're going to give up the triangle straight away.
Yep.
Absolutely. Really good rule. But never always, always sometimes. When you've learnt that rule and you haven't... Trust me, please, white belts, blue belts, don't try this, okay? Like, don't
do this at home, kids.
Don't try and break the rules before you've been...
Before you've mastered the rule.
That's right. You have to master the rule first. So master the rule always 2 arms in or 2 arms out.
Yep.
Now I get to play with this rule. Yep. Now when I'm rolling with Scarlett the other night and she's got her guard locked around and I'm and she's so bendy with such long legs, right? So it's really hard.
And strong too.
And she is strong.
That kid dumbfounds me on how strong she is.
She
really
is
does.
strong. But if she doesn't want to give up her guard, she won't unless she thinks she's going to get something better. Right? And this is where I break the rule. So I put 1 arm in. I'm like, let me get that arm in. And I'm waiting for her to take the bait. And she takes the bait and opens her guard, which allows me straight away to throw my outside arm around the corner, attached to her shoulder, and pass the guard. Right? So I've baited the rule.
Yep.
1 arm in, 1 arm out, 2 arms in, 2 arms out until I need to bait you. Now I can use it to my advantage.
Yeah.
But until you know, don't break the rules.
I think that's a really pivotal point in this episode is that, you know, society as a whole will joke all the time about rules are meant to be broken. Mm-hmm. Rules are created to be broken. Agree or disagree is irrelevant. If you learn the rules and you master the rules in jiu-jitsu are never supposed to be solidified in cement.
Yes.
Because your opponent is never, ever, ever going to always follow your same set of rules.
And they're never the same.
And they're also trying to break what you're trying to do.
Yep.
So if you're only following the rules, then they will break it.
Yeah.
But if you have mastered the rule and you know when they're going to try and break it, then that is your opening to also then
Yeah.
modify, break, change the rules.
Yeah.
But
It's
it's
pliable.
mastering the rules first.
Yep.
It's the
absolutely.
understanding. It's the acceptance
Yep.
and the understanding.
Absolutely.
See, I'm getting there.
I can see little light bulbs going off
I
in
know,
your brain
because
at the
you know what?
moment.
Because I'm workflowing it, right? It's like, hey, this is we've come into my happy place.
Here's one for you. Don't use your elbows to open the guard.
Oh, that shits me. I fucking
Ever.
hate people that do that. And I
Ever.
really, honestly, there's no punching in jiu-jitsu, but I want to. Somebody hits that elbow into the side of my leg, like that point. It's. I actually asked a white belt a while ago, please don't do that.
Yeah.
And please, I'll say please don't. Somebody else might not be quite as polite.
So when would we break this rule?
Never. I don't know when you'd break it, but I'm not game to do it. I'll get punched in the face.
I made a little note here. I said, don't use your elbows to open the guard ever.
That rule
No
can't be broken.
ifs or buts. No time that it's okay ever. It's not even good jiu-jitsu. It's not. I don't know. I hear people, I see forums, and you'll often see someone make the comment or joke, oh, don't use your elbows. And some person will go, but that's how we're actually taught to do it in my academy. We're taught, dig your elbows into their thigh. It will open the guard. And I sit there and I go, oh, I just don't know who your coach is. Like, go find a different coach. Because what your arm should be is a wedge. That's what it is. And it's been bastardized into dig your elbows into the thigh.
Yeah.
No, that's not what that move is. Use your elbow as a wedge between you so you can start to turn your hips, so you can start to push the knee, so you can start to break the guard.
Yeah.
That's what the move is. So I go on to say, ever, unless you want retribution and a really fucking hard roll for the rest of the round.
And it will come.
If you dig your elbows into Grant's thighs, he will lay there with his hands behind his head and smile at you.
Yeah.
And then he'll sweep you, and then he'll get on mount. And that is where you'll stay for the rest of the round, underneath that mount.
Yeah.
And you don't want to be there. Trust me.
The
Never, ever.
only caveat I will say to that is any street fight. And Matt talked about this on our documentary. Don't ever go into a street fight thinking that you're there for a fair fight.
That's true.
Everything's dirty. Everything's
true.
a weapon. Everything's a tool. And every tool is right for that.
But as I said, it's not even good jiu-jitsu because, and I would even say in that circumstance, probably not even effective, because when you're in a street fight, and I'm not the expert, I have actually been in a couple of fights before, like maybe surprisingly, I don't know, but your adrenaline's pumping,
Yep.
you're not feeling pain. That's why pain compliance techniques don't actually work when someone's full of adrenaline or drugs or whatever, alcohol. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
All your pain receptors are gone because you're in fight mode. And so a little elbow to the inside of the thigh probably ain't going to do too much. But being punch safe and creating wedges where you can escape, yeah, that's going to be effective. You're going to be able to get out. Not too many people in a street fight I would think would have such a good guard anyway, but just something to consider with that mindset on. So there's that one. Don't do it, people. Don't use your elbows.
Mum has spoken.
I have. All right. This one. Are you ready? Don't be weird. Don't tickle, smother, or whisper crude jokes to your training partners while rolling.
Oh, Matt, you have to stay silent every roll forever and ever.
Hang on. But the whole episode is about breaking the rules.
Oh, yeah, you break the rules every fucking time with me.
Don't be the creepy person, guys. Like, it's really weird when you get a white belt on the mat rolling with other white belts and they're doing the tickle or the smother or the whispering dirty jokes in the ear.
Yeah, see, that's
see the look
creepy.
that you just got on your face, right? But if it's you and me
Oh, yeah.
having a roll and I get on mount and I'm going to mother's milk you.
Oh,
right
yeah,
now.
yeah. And I go, Because I don't care.
When you've been training with someone for a very long time and
yes, people, that happens.
that happened once. Well, let's not give too much away. This is a different podcast. Now, when you've been training with a very long time with someone, you've developed rapport and a relationship over time. And you are playful, and that's the relationship you have. And you're both in that fun mood tonight. You're not wanting a hard roll or whatever. And one person tests the water, dips the, like, you might get their back and you're like, oh, there's your feet, I'm going to tickle. And then they giggle and you're like, okay, I'm really going to tickle. That's okay.
Yeah.
That's playful. That's fun. That's enjoyable. That's what sends you home at the end of the night going, gosh, that was a great training session tonight. But if you're a white belt and you started tickling my feet and I've only trained with you 2 times before today, I'm probably not going to appreciate that so much. I'm probably going to have the idea that anything below the eyebrows is a choke. And I will choke you out.
And that's okay. Yeah, don't be weird.
Yeah, don't be weird. Don't be weird.
What do you call it? Over...
Familiar?
Don't be over familiar until you've built the rapport.
Yes.
And then, by all means, again, depending on your relationship, your friendship and the level of trust, go nuts.
Yeah, absolutely.
But earn that.
Absolutely. That takes years. That doesn't happen overnight. That doesn't happen, after weeks of training.
No.
That's a long race.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. What else have I got here? Hang on, let's have a look. Oh, this was one that Matt gave. Always aim for the underhooks. It's a really good rule. When you're learning jiu-jitsu, always try and get the underhooks.
And it was so funny last night because it was the one thing we weren't supposed to do and everybody went for the fucking underhook. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
And then Grant's pulled everybody up going, guys, no underhook.
No underhook today because we were doing punch safe stuff. And when you have an underhook, it's great for jiu-jitsu against jiu-jitsu. It's not great if they can punch you in the head because their arm's free and ready and able. So it's a really good rule. White belts, blue belts out there, if you can make it part of your game to always try and go for the underhooks, you'll actually find more success early on.
Yep.
There are times later on when I will bait my partner to go for the underhook because I actually want the whizzer or I want the overhook. In that choke, for example, the punch choke, I want them to have the underhook so I can reach through, grab the far collar and then finish and execute that choke. So there are times, absolutely, but that's later. At the start, always try and get the underhook. I like it.
And it's like... Again, it comes back to that journey, right? You're learning all the basics and so many people out there will feel like this is never going to work, and that's the whole point of mastery. You fail and fail and fail until you don't, and then you can start to look at how you can adapt. There is a lot of times where Matt and I will be drilling something and I need to stay purely focused on what you guys have shown us. And I need to map it and replicate it.
Absolutely.
And then Matt will take his turn and I'll have no idea. Like my brain will go, you need to go 1, 2, 3, 4. And he'll go 1, 1.2, 2.4. Then he'll get a bit curious and take himself down a rabbit hole. But he has a black belt. So he's probably seen 1, 2, 3, 4 1,000 times, executed it 1,000 times. And now what he's trying to work out is to whether or not he can break that rule.
Or whether he can implement it to already preconceived notions and learnings on where it fits into his game. And so I sit back very envious and be the dummy and comply accordingly. No, I shut down at that point. I don't buy into it. I'm like, no, I got nothing here. So and I will just go blank and do whatever he needs me to do. And then I go back to my turn and I go 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's so good though. That's so good. And that actually leads into another point that Matt said, and it was drill the damn technique. Just drill it. Listen to your coaches. Do what they say, step by step by step by step. Don't deviate. Not when you're a white belt, not when you're a blue belt, purple, even a brown belt. Man, sometimes I see like higher level people on the mats doing stuff that I will have taught it, and they'll go, oh, and I'll hear them sometimes say like, oh, well, when I do it, I like to do this. And I'm like, there's a reason that doesn't work, or there's a reason I wasn't showing that today.
Yeah.
Don't confuse your training partners. Doesn't matter what belt level you are.
And that's really important. That was my point.
Yeah.
You know, when Matt was earlier on in his journey and him and I were training together, we would end up in fights because he would be aligning it to his jiu-jitsu, and I would be trying to replicate what the subject matter expert in front of me was telling me to do. And because I was looking to him as well, it's throwing me into a set of confusion.
Yep.
As we have progressed and as we have matured in this space and we've got better understandings of each other, it's not my journey to tell him not to, because his Jiu journey is his Jiu journey, but I want him to be my training partner.
His Jiu journey.
His Jiu journey is his Jiu journey.
I love that.
It is his Jiu journey. And so what I want is to be able to replicate. That's what I need.
Yes.
And so he watches it and he understands what needs to be replicated, so he's good for me. And if I struggle with it, he helps me.
Yep.
But I also in turn had to learn to not pay attention to what he's doing and let him figure his stuff out respectfully, because he is so further ahead and he can. He's at that point where he can sometimes break the rules.
Yeah.
And so again, you know, to your point, if you're a white belt, a blue belt, a purple belt doing this, not only are you probably screwing yourself over in that moment, but there is high risk that you're screwing your training partner over as well, because they're now getting confused, trying to figure out what the fuck you're doing, and also trying to replicate what their coach is doing. These people aren't out the front teaching you because they're idiots.
Yeah.
They're out the front teaching you because they've earned the place to be there.
And there's usually a reason, a rhyme and a reason why we teach things certain ways.
Yeah.
And so, you know, like the never always and always sometimes, there'll be a night where we'll go, do this way.
Yep.
And then you'll have, you know, 3 or 4 blue belts on the mat going, oh, but what if they go here? Or, but last week you showed this way. It's like, yes, because that was you're not seeing the finite of that was a slightly different problem. This is a different problem to that. Or this is going to lead us down to the next technique. If we go this way on this technique, then we're going to be able to lead ourselves into the next part of the next technique. But you're not seeing the bigger picture because you're not at the front coaching. Yeah. You're just going, oh, well, I know jiu-jitsu. Let me tell you how much I know. I'm going to share my knowledge with my partner and screw them over. I'm going to ask a what-if question that doesn't relate to the topic of tonight because I think it should be done a different way. Like, sit down, shut up, drill the technique.
That's right. And there is always a what-if.
Yep.
There is to every single thing you do. That's
why we had that like door.
Yeah. That's
Side story. A kid got locked in, for everyone at home, a kid got locked in our bathroom recently and the lock stuck and we couldn't unlock it from the outside. We couldn't she couldn't unlock it from the inside. The dad has said, I said to him, you're going to have to like kick this door down. And God love him because he was smarter than me. I would have just railed up and tried to boot the whole thing in, but he punched like a weakness and then was able to punch through and unlock it from the inside without damaging any of the door jamb, which I would have probably done if it was up to me. I would have gone like full Shira mode. Anyway, Grant wrote on the door. So it just looked like someone's head had been shoved through the door. And he wrote on the door, blue belts, this is what happens when people ask what if.
Subtle reminder.
And it's really funny because everyone loved it so much they wanted us to like just cut that piece of the door
out and keep it and frame it.
And frame it and put it on the wall. But
I was one of those people.
I know.
I thought it was hilarious. But, you know, the drills are not there to answer the what ifs. The drills for me are there to help build my muscle memory that allows me to then roll in a fashion that hopefully I'm executing what I'm learning in a drill.
Yes.
The what ifs come in the drills where I then start to counter. And that's not to say that I won't go back to you and go, you know, hey, I wanted to try and execute this, but when I did, this happened. What do I do now? Yeah. Of course, there's a next step and a next step.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm with Matt on that. I never understood the importance of drilling.
Yeah.
until I got to purple belt.
And I think the important part there is pick your time and place.
Mm-hmm.
In a class, in, you know, a group of 40 people, throwing out what ifs or, hey, I like to do it this way, or what about, you know, doing it like that, or you said last week, you know, like bringing up all these external points is probably not the best place to do it. In Q&As after advanced classes, when you have like review time or time with your coach, or you even in a role with your coach, go, hey, you taught it this way. Yeah. What happens when I move this way? And the coach will be like, oh, just, you know, make this adjustment. You know, that's when you're going to get your answers. But throwing out all the what ifs in a class where we're trying to get through with time management and all those other factors, be a good training partner, drill the moves. The answers will come with time. No one can. Someone said something this morning, and I said, I would love to teach you all the jiu-jitsu in 5 minutes, but this isn't the Matrix. I can't plug you into a computer system and download it.
Oh, how fucking good would it be if you could?
Amazing.
Oh, I'm in. Count me in. I'm going to Mars. I'll go.
You want to go to Mars?
Hell yeah. If it means I get plugged into a machine and it all just gets downloaded, I'm there. I'm all in.
I think that's pretty much it. I think that's everything I've got on my list if I look over it. So never always, always sometimes. Some hard and fast rules on jiu-jitsu.
They're fast, they're hard, but they're never in cement.
There you go.
You've always got to know that, you know, some days they're not going to work.
What was Matt saying at the start? All apes are gorillas, but not all gorillas are apes.
And then what did you say?
I said that's like all Spurgies are humans, but not all humans are Spurgies.
Hello, mama. All rules are meant to be planned, not all plans go to rule.
That's right.
There you go.
You could come up with all these play on words and stuff.
And at the end of the day, it all just means it's a simple truth. Learn the foundation, understand what the movements are supposed to do, try and execute. If you succeed, well done. And if you don't, readjust and keep going.
Yep.
Any war is never won based on knowing what the enemy is going to do. The war is won based on the assumption of what the enemy might do and the flexibility to pivot when they don't.
And your preparedness.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's about, I like what, I just listened to the episode that we did on nationals, and I like what Grant said. He's like, I can't control what other people do.
Yep.
I can only control how much I've prepared and how much I've made myself ready, and my jiu-jitsu and the answers that I have for as many possible outcomes.
Yep.
That's jiu-jitsu. Every single person in every single role is going to be different. Even the same people. I can have one role with you, 1 5-minute round. We can spend the minute talking and realize, oh, everyone's repaired and we're still left together. Let's go again.
Yep.
And that role will be entirely different to the first 5 minutes.
Yep, very much
you
so.
know, or next week, you've learned a whole week of technique. I've made some realizations. We come back together. It's completely different all over again.
And our roles today are so different to our roles when we first started.
Yep.
Everything about our dynamics, because our friendship has evolved, our relationship has changed, my jiu-jitsu has changed. You have changed in the way you're doing your jiu-jitsu as well because of the competitions that you've gone into, and you're opening up to different landscapes and whatnot and everything. So everybody's jiu-jitsu changes every day.
Yep.
Like for as long as you're growing, and, you know, to every episode point we've ever had and done, for as long as you keep showing up, you'll grow.
Yeah.
It might not be in the speed you want it to be, but you'll grow. And so I think in that regard, then you've got to come to every role knowing that nothing's in cement. Nothing's an absolute.
Yep.
Nothing is an absolute.
It's a real exercise in pliability.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why it's such a head fuck for me.
What's your hope today, Kaz?
My hope for people out there, I'm going to come back to when you're drilling with your partner. If you're struggling with the translation between drilling and execution in a role, work out what works in your brain. Take some time in your next role and be consciously aware of your thought patterns in the role. To be able to then identify what you think you need in your drills to help you bring that in. For me, it's all about the mind and how the mind's working, not the physical. The physical comes through repetition for me.
Yep.
So my hope is that for anybody struggling in that transition, I used to always sit there and do the drills and go, this will never work. This will never work. I'll never execute this. It's not that it will never work. It's that I have not yet mastered it to work.
That's the growth mindset. I love it.
And that's what I hope for people. It will work.
Yeah.
You have to master it. So my hope is that you find what the blocker is if you're struggling right now.
Yeah.
Because mine was mental.
Yeah. Cool.
That's my hope. What's your hope?
My hope is that you don't ignore the rules.
Mm-hmm.
I think so many people are wanting to fast track their jiu-jitsu, and I get it. I totally get it. But those rules are there for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
It's because 90% of the time, they are the correct move.
Yep.
Keep your elbows close. Go for the underhooks. Don't be creepy ever.
That's a big one.
Tap early,
Yep.
tap often, so you can come back tomorrow and train. Keep your what was another one that we said? 2 arms in, 2 arms out.
Don't give up your back.
Don't give up your back. Like, they're really important fundamental rules.
Mm-hmm.
And if you follow those rules, your jiu-jitsu will get better faster. It's the irony of it. People are trying to shortcut their jiu-jitsu by breaking the rules because they want those secret little source answers. But the reality is that their jiu-jitsu is paying the price for it. They're getting slower at the progression because they haven't mastered the fundamentals. The fundamentals are the foundation of your jiu-jitsu.
Yep.
I love what Hodger Gracie says. He often says there's no beginner moves, there's no fundamental and advanced moves in jiu-jitsu. There's only an advanced understanding of the fundamental jiu-jitsu. And honestly, guys and girls, like, if you just spent your whole career only ever following those rules, you would still end up with fantastic jiu-jitsu.
Yep. 100%.
If you want to get playful and creative and have a bit of fun, break a rule every now and then and see what happens.
Yeah, after you've mastered it.
After you've you know what? Even before you've mastered it, you're going to find out real quick, right?
Maybe you should have mastered the rule first.
Maybe you should have mastered the rule first. But they're there. They're designed to protect you and to help keep you safe and to make your jiu-jitsu better.
Yep.
We're not there to trick you. We're not there saying, oh, we're holding this secret, technique because we don't want you to be better than us. That's not true at all. This is the foundation. And that's why I will never not go to one of my coach's fundamental classes when I have the opportunity, because that's where I learn the most.
And isn't it funny, you saying that now? And again, I don't know that people get this until perhaps later in their journey, but you're not teaching us different things from what we had learnt historically, but I'm seeing it more now. And so the more you see and the more you do the same thing, I think you've said it, I know Luke said it, I know Grant said it, Chris Burns said it the other week. I can see the same thing from the same master, expert, whatever, 10 times, and each time I will learn something new about it.
Yes.
So there was a mindset historically that said fundamentals is here and then advanced jiu-jitsu is over here, but it took me a lot to go back and realize, oh no, I want the fundamentals. I want that, because I don't think I gave it enough respect when I first joined this.
People equate fundamental to basic.
Yeah.
Or beginner.
Yeah.
And it's not.
No.
Fundamental, it means it's fundamental to your jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Like, you
It is the
need to know
grassroots.
this stuff.
That's
if
right.
you don't know it, you're building your house on a sandy land. Like,
That's
it's not going to stand up
Yep.
for any hard testing. You have to be able to rely back on the rules. If you're in deep water with someone, go back to the rules. Don't
Yep.
try and break those rules at that point. If you're with someone better, follow the rules.
Yep.
When you're being playful with someone who's not as good as you, break a rule.
Yeah.
See what happens. See how you can expose the rule. And like, rolling with Scarlett last night where I was like, damn, I'm not going to break these legs, as in open the guard, not actually break her legs.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Not sending children home in casts, people. It's okay.
no.
But I'm like, I've got to try and break her little rule here because she's not giving me anything.
Yeah.
So now I've got to break a rule in order to get a reaction so that I can get back to where I need to be. It's that kind of mindset. But that takes time and maturity and understanding. And all of that
Can't
stuff.
put wisdom on young shoulders, my love. I'm learning this the hard way
Unfortunately
right now. It's my biggest learning journey at the moment, my TISM world. Cannot put wisdom on young shoulders, sadly. Never
Well,
mind.
I think that will do us for today.
Lovely.
Hope you guys all enjoyed that at home. If you did like it, please like, share, subscribe. I'm sure most of you have by now. Hopefully.
Well, the numbers are up there, so it's working. Hello to everybody in all the countries, and thank you so much to everybody who's listening and coming along with us on the journey too.
Is there any countries we don't have? Any big ones that you can think of?
No, there's no big ones that we don't have.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So, I mean, we don't have Russia.
Oh, okay.
What are you doing in Russia? Come on, get on board.
If you're from Russia, let us know.
Yeah. Yeah. Do that. If you're from Russia, let us know. That'd be awesome.
Love it.
Yeah, but no. We're covering a lot of places at the moment. It's very
Awesome.
exciting. So hi to everybody.
Yeah, hi to everyone. All right, well, until next week, my love.
Have a great weekend.
You too.
Safe travels.
Thank you.
And we'll see you when you come home.
See you next week.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
See ya. This podcast is a My Broken Soldier production.
And brought to you by Iconic Jiu Jitsu.